Aurelien Tchouameni. I think I've nailed the pronunciation down for what I used to be. He's being linked with a move to Liverpool very heavily. There's multiple reports saying that Liverpool are leading the race ahead of Real Madrid, and Chelsea are also sort of in there, but with the future, it's with the ownership thing, it's not 100% concrete. There have also been reports from France saying that Liverpool have now made a lucrative offer to Monaco and Tchouameni, and that Canate has played a massive part in convincing Tchouameni to join Liverpool. Matty, we've talked a lot about the Frenchman on this stream, but it seems like it's getting a lot closer and it's seeming a lot more real now, isn't it?
It's one of them. I feel like, is it going to be saved just in case we don't win the Champions League final like Fabinho was? And if we do win it, it's just another high in it. He looks decent. Can't say I've seen much of him. I think it is all but done, though. Fabrizio Romano does seem to tap things in. The fact he said something is probably a good thing because he doesn't really say anything unless it's right. And everyone's talking about it. So 67 mil or something, isn't it, that is reported? I do think him and Jude Bellingham are probably the future of Liverpool's midfield. And we're getting Tchouameni now and probably Bellingham maybe next year. Thiago and Hendo aren't getting any younger. He is, although he plays more of a CDM, he's not replacing Fab, so he's probably is going to be playing as a more advanced centre midfielder who will drop back when Trent or Robbo bomb forward, and then he can drop into a holding role. It's smart thinking, really. We do use our right centre mid for that a lot now. He looks exciting. I trust every signing with Jurgen Klopp, and I don't think FSG and our backing team would spend £67 million on someone who's going to be a flop. Yeah, you could argue Keita, but I think injuries have stopped this progression. I don't think Liverpool would spend that sort of money if they weren't sure. And he's young. He looks very, very exciting. And the last player we bought from Monaco didn't turn out to be too bad, did he? So I'm excited, really excited.
Yeah, I mean, James, Matty mentioned a price tag there. There were reports that they wanted 40 million, but now it's went up to 70 to 75 million euros, which is around 65 million British pounds. You know, Luis Diaz at one point was 70 million. We got it down to 40 million euros plus add-ons. You know, Alisson at one point was 90 million. A lot of teams say this, but with the installments, with the incentives, it probably would look closer to around 40 million straight up, or in installments with that 15-20 million with bonuses. That's a great deal for a 22-year-old who can play as a defensive midfielder, as an 8, as a 10 on the left, on the right, and again, he's only 22 years old. He's got so much to learn, and Jurgen Klopp could be the perfect man to, make him one of the best midfielders in the world, couldn't he?
Yeah, you've always got to remember with signings like younger signings. So Tchouameni's what, 22, and it all depends on the duration of the contract we put him on. So if we put him on a 7-year contract, for example, or a 6-year contract, we take that 70 million and we spread it over 6 years, and we pay X amount every year, and it's paid off over that duration. It's not like you're bringing in a 29-year-old paying 100 million and you've just got to pay it all off within 3 years of the contract. It is very clever, very sensible business. This is how we could get Alisson and Van Dijk and do all that, with that 140 million. It is a player for that amount is what, 12 million a year for their first contract. No brainer, really, is it?
Yeah, I mean, as you said there, it's we pay an installment. We're doing it with Diogo Jota. It turns out for like 10 mil a year. We're doing it with Luis Diaz too. We paid them 15 million, and we're paying the rest this year and next year. So even though it's 70 million, it's only going to be like maybe 15 million up front, and then the rest split over 3 years, because that works out for better with clubs on the taxes and how they can, especially Monaco, because they don't get taxed anything. So they're loving life over there. But Damon, how we've got an interview coming up with a French journalist or someone who's based in France who who reports on Monaco, and I'll give you a sneak preview. It should be out either tomorrow or on Friday. He said that he could see Jurgen Klopp changing formation and going with 2 in midfield, Fabinho and Tchouameni, or Fabinho and Thiago. We know that Jurgen Klopp loves that 4-2-3-1/4-2-4. He's been trying to play it for years. Is the signing of Tchouameni maybe him trying to push that on even further, do you think?
Possibly, yeah, because he's so versatile, and it's another. He is a CDM like Fabinho, but it's a bit different. It's a bit more box to box rather than Fabinho just holds. So I think it would be it could be a sign of things to come, really, the change of formation. He tried it with Coutinho, didn't he, when he put him into midfield, and that worked because Coutinho were brilliant on the left, but in the midfield he sort of got the best out of him in a way because he had more control, he got more of the ball than Coutinho, but we didn't have Fabinho behind him, we didn't have Tchouameni behind him, so who else would go behind the striker? I wonder if they're looking at someone else. I don't know.
Elliot.
There's no really names that's been pushed out at the moment.
There's 3 behind it. This would probably be like a mixture of Diaz,
could be
Thiago, more advanced, something like that. Salah would probably be the one, or Mane, and then maybe
they're not that special sort of role, are they? Those players that you mentioned could probably play there, but I don't think that Klopp likes a sort of a player that can play definitely in that position.
Yeah, I think Escapado has said Carvalho's coming in. He plays right behind Mitrovic. But something that Kris also said in our chat that we could see that 4-2-4 where, it could be Diogo Jota up front with Sadio Mane in behind, Salah on the right, and Diaz on the left. My only issue with that is we're playing with fire because that's our 4th main striker.
The Premier League as well, and you need to win those midfield battles in the Premier League.
And there are 4 strikers or 4 wingers as well, and them playing every game just isn't going to work. I think if we were to maybe sign another forward player like we have been linked with, and I think that we will this summer, that could work. But, whoever we're linked with, who knows, they're going to have to play at least 3 positions if he's wanting to play that 4-2-4. But, going back onto Tchouameni, Matty, you did say about Jude Bellingham. We've discussed loads on this. It seems like, we are building the midfield for the future. Do you think, that Jude Bellingham Tchouameni partnership would work going into the future?
Yeah, I do think so. I don't think we'll change our formation really though, because that 4-3-3 has been so established for us. Maybe the 4-2-4 is plan B for these low block sides. But yeah, I don't know. I think we've always said that Dortmund don't sell Haaland and Bellingham this summer. Do you know when you look at it, when they won the league, they sold Lewandowski, Goethe, was it Hummels all in the same?
Yeah, and they haven't won the league since.
Yeah, so they're not going to win the league. Oh, they have to accept it and give us Bellingham now, like save the asshole.
I don't think Liverpool are going to spend 180 million on under 22 midfielders.
That's all we need, though, isn't it? Like if we go out this summer and we got that Ramsey and Carvalho by the looks of it. But if we get Tchouameni and Bellingham and we do spend 180 million, and you get you're going to Origi going for free, but you're easily getting 15-20 for Nico Williams. He's been phenomenal for Fulham in the Championship, and they're probably going to buy him. Nat Phillips, Bournemouth want him. If they come up, they always overpay for players. There's another 10-15. The Ox as well, 10-15. Like there's half the of the Tchouameni done basically. So
and like James says, you're not paying the whole 180 million straight off the top.
Bellingham's the type of player
it's not how we do it, though, is it? It's not how we do it.
We're living in dreamland that way. It reminds me of Football Manager. When your budget's like 10 million, you sort of give them 0, and then you say, we'll pay you 80 million in 5 years, and you sort of buy half a squad with just 10 million budget. That's what it feels like at Liverpool.
We've got to remember that Diaz was meant to be signed in the summer. So that's 45 million of our summer transfer budget. Gone.
That's probably it. That's probably gone.
I do think we'll sell loads of players. You know what I mean? We're getting players like Karius off the wage books. I think Shea Ojo comes off the wage books. I know it's not massive money. Yeah, but it's not massive money, but they add up to at least probably the players we let go. If you're letting the Ox go and Nat Phillips and Nico, you probably save him probably close to $500,000 a week in wages.
And you know what? I think as well, in the summer and in January, we were so heavily linked with buying 2 wingers. It was never one, it was always 2. And that massive list come out with the likes of Bowen, Gakpo, Neto. There was loads of wingers on there. Luis Diaz, I don't think was on there, but at the time he was still rumoured to be, potentially a Liverpool signing. I'm still convinced we were 100% signing 2 wingers this summer along with a midfielder, because Origi's already gone, and I'm convinced Takumi Minamino's going as well. So, there's 2 players who we're going to have to replace, and they're always on the bench for us. Luis Diaz has come in, and I think it's going to be a homegrown player, and I'm convinced it's going to be Jared Bowen, if I'm being honest, but I think West Ham might want a bit too much. But, Tchouameni just makes so much sense on so many levels. The only issue is he's not homegrown. And with the likes of Ox leaving, Milner potentially leaving, Curtis Jones or Harvey Elliott going on loan, that's me only,
He's basically replacing in that like Minamino or the Origi. They're taking homegrown spaces up, so he's replacing one of them really. Who's departing. And I don't think Klopp would have signed a 4-year extension if we promised a decent summer. We have got an aging squad. I do think that we've always been promised this summer as the big summer where things seem to change. But I think the focus, we don't need a defender. Maybe a backup keeper if Queeve decides he wants first team football, and I wouldn't begrudge him for that. And we probably need one more attacker. So if we got Tchouameni, Bellingham, and another attacker, and we got rid of all the deadwood, it'd be the best summer we've ever had, probably.
I think we need a defender if Gomez leaves, though.
I don't think Gomez is going. They're talking about contract extension, aren't they?
You let Nico Williams go, 15-20 mil easy. And then
that, I don't think that's even a discussion, because Calvin Ramsey's basically done. He won't be homegrown, but Fabio Carvalho will be homegrown because he's been a Fulham. So, it's balancing the homegrown act, which is annoying, but we have to do it. And I think that's why maybe we're going to see an English player. Calvin Phillips, I wouldn't say no to. I just don't. I think if we sign Tchouameni, I think that takes that completely off the table.
I'd say no. Calvin Phillips is a baller, but he seems like a nice, and just for that outfit he put on Instagram, I don't want him near my football club, to be honest. But he screams a United sign. I do like him, but he seems to be hampered by injuries a little bit. But he's phenomenal. He won't be staying in the Championship, that's for sure.
What about Saka?
I don't think Arsenal would sell him.
His contract has got only 2 years left, to be fair. But I still think Arsenal will be pushing for like 150 mil for him.
Klopp loves him, doesn't he? But there's no way you're getting Saka.
I think we have more of a chance to sign Martinelli over Saka.
What about Son, though, if Spurs don't get the Champions League? With Klopp saying to him, this place is special at the end of the game the other day. Just what if? Maybe. Well, how long's left on his deal?
I don't know, but he's 30 as well.
Yeah.
Son would go up front and all,
He'd be perfect.
Look, we can dream. Aurelien Tchouameni, Jude Bellingham.
If we could get Son, oh my God. He's the one player in the Premier League I'd have at Liverpool.
I tell you what, too.
Remember, though, guys, as we come into the new Premier League season, it's a bigger bench and there's 5 subs.
Yeah.
So now more players are willing to go, well, yeah, I'll go to Liverpool. I'll get game time. I'll come off the bench. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do the other. It's not a case of I'm never going to play anymore. So not that I think we're going to sign a 30-year-old Heung-min Son, Jude Bellingham and, but there is, if we are getting rid of Deadwood, there is going to be a need to bring in more players because we are going to need that rotation.
And we need better class on the bench as well. We need more players that's up to that level on the bench. Come on.
I mean, just to end this off, I'll go around everyone. Tchouameni for the 65 million, would you take him this summer? I think I know what we're all going to say, but Matty, James, Damon, Matty, start with you.
In a heartbeat, can't say I've seen much of him. Trust our scouting department, so that much money must mean he's a baller.
Yeah, you know, the last Frenchman, James, we signed, Ibrahima Konate, is being pretty well, and they seem like good pals, so seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the last player we got from Monaco is not exactly too shabby either. You know, I wouldn't want to see us spend over £80 million on a 22-year-old, but anything less, I'm all in.
Yeah, and you know, Damon, I think it's been reported a 6-year contract with an option to extend. So, you know, he could be staying at Liverpool until he's 29, 30 if he was to sign, couldn't he?
It seems like a bargain, but I mean, the last Frenchman I remember that getting this sort of thing for us was Anton Latalik, and he turned out to be absolutely terrible.
He went 67 million.
Oh, him and Cinema Pongola.
He got that sort of brand, like he's going to be the future of this team.
Cinema Pongola scored some important goals for Liverpool. He did.
Latalik was meant to be the next Zidane, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was terrible, but Cinema Pongola was all right. He was all right.
Just put it down on things. Just put it down on things.
Yeah, I rated David O'Gog. He's French, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
I think he got one cap, didn't he?
Might have. We all remember him for his goal.
Yes, man, does it.
Charles and a Calvert-Lewin. That he is.